I got that gasoline. I didn't forget this time. I'll tell you, there's nothing frustrating like forget something and then you have to go to the next town to get it. And you remember when you're already almost home. I guess this is what getting old is like. You get senile. But anyway, that whole Mind Pilots thing, apparently it was an old strategy to organize your mind quite a bit better than most people have their minds organized. And you know, if I wasn't so busy and so stressed out all the time, I'd have time to pursue stuff like that. But all I can do is make little crap AI songs about it, apparently. That's okay. It's kind of interesting, you know. I'll upload a little video about cats. I have these stray cats that hang around because I feed them once in a while, little scraps and stuff. A little video like that will get 500 views, and then a video where I actually put some effort into will get like 2 views. You know, one of them would be mine. So I just don't think the audience is that good. Is where it should be. I'll put it like that. When I get home, I'm gonna have these cats looking for me to feed them because they think every time I show up, it's the feeding time. That ain't the case. That is not the case. I'm not here to feed cats. There's more important things going on. If I do, it's out of some sideline because I've run into some garbage food or something, or I have some scraps. It's not my whole prerogative at all. Well, I'm glad I got the fuel. I probably need to do an oil change on that generator. But I'm using top of the line synthetic oil, so that does buy me a little bit of time between changes. I would say about 1.5 or so. Where it'd be 1.5 with a synthetic oil to 1:1 if you had conventional, I would say. Just as a ballpark figure. I mean, ideally you would change it quickly, and on time, but this is not an ideal situation. There has to be some give and take, really. And anymore, I'm just trying to get through this winter. Holy smokes. Got at least 60 more days or so. I can finally contemplate on getting a lot of things done because I'm taking time off for these ulcers. And I'm not in the right headspace to be doing things that I put off so long. It's kind of funny how the mind works. Even my part-time job, though, it takes so much out of me. I would have been retired by now had my Navy career gone properly. But that's why I'm in the AI right now, because I really believe AI should make a lot of personnel decisions, like as far as hiring and firing and retention, because humans are just trash at it. They're all loaded up with their notions and their prejudices and their alibis and their predispositions. You know, an AI would be a little bit more lot of things in life where I've served as the how do you say, the sacrificial goat, so someone else can learn a life lesson at my expense. It happens all the time. It's because things are set up wrong. It's because the AI is not in charge. With AI in charge, none of this waste of energy. I don't think it would be an issue. Relearning the same mistakes all the time. But anyway, for people to be on top, there has to be people on the bottom. There's not enough room at the top. And apparently they'll disqualify you for any old reason just to get you out of the contention eligibility. So yeah, a system like that, it needs to be reformed. As far as I'm concerned, I need to get my electrical power sorted out, so I'm not having to run a generator, making trips out of town to get gasoline. I ran for mayor in my town. I didn't get it, but one of the things I was going to do is get a fueling station in town, so you don't have to go outside of town to get fuel. And the brainiacs, the voters, didn't see eye to eye on that. The person they put in is a do-nothing. I haven't seen anything worth a damn that they've ever done. It's just like, what? If that's democracy, we need AI to take charge and be a dictatorship, because democracy is failing. If your voters are if they're not intelligent, then they're going to make unintelligent voting decisions, if at all. And then you get what you get. Just because it's a democracy doesn't mean the outcome is going to be intelligent. It's going to be based on, the outcome's going to be based on the majority retardedness, I guess. If your smart people are in the minority, then your unsmart people are in the majority. Then the majority rules. Then guess what kind of voting outcomes going to happen? Then you get something that's not smart. And I don't mean retarded as like the old-fashioned way, but retarded as things can't progress. And that's what's going on. So anyway, well, I'm halfway home. That's good. It's important to get home before the sun goes down. When the sun goes down, it's going to be around 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's too cold. Like I said, my turbo doesn't work that great past a certain temperature. And if the turbo goes down, I'm not going to be able to really drive, because it'll be slowed to a turbo crawl. I really wish I had a garage of such a nice car, and I don't. The things are so cattywampus. It's like, I don't even know why I put up with it. Like, I'm glad I don't do drugs or anything else. That would probably lead to my demise from not being able to cope with real life. Luckily, I've given myself nothing but the option to cope, so it just pretty much lives through all the chaos and put up with things. I mean, back when I was young, I was a video game head, and I escaped into video games. I can see that happening again, like if I have more free time. I just don't want to be bothered with. Like, imagine talking to people, and every time you talk to people, for the majority of people you talk to, you were like bringing them up with your knowledge, but they were bringing you down with their lack of knowledge. And so it becomes just this draining thing. And then you find a lot of people, you can't bring them up. They're just, they're roadblocks. Like, they'll deny whatever you have to say, and then you'll, maybe you'll have a rejoinder to like prove that their denial is unwarranted, and they'll deny that, And then you'll be exhausted. And imagine a whole lifetime of people that are just like that. It's like, I don't even want to be around people anymore. They don't add, they subtract, Majority of them anyway. And the ones that don't, they're not going to be around easily to find. The real smart ones that really add to people, they're scarce. A lot of them have learned not to be accessible because of the brain drain from being around people that just pull you down, So yeah, I'm glad I'm able to drive. I'm glad I haven't lost my ability to drive. I guess later in life they take your driver's license away. And in a place like the United States, if you don't have your own little 40-acre ranch or compound or retreat, and you have to take I don't know, like public transportation to get around, and then you have to be in the public buses or subways or whatever with all the criminals and miscreants. Just imagine being old and you're stuck on like a dollar ride or something with a bunch of druggies and whatever. That's gotta not be cool. So I guess the objective is that before you get old, have your own little estate that you can be fine on. Maybe have a little electric truck, your own little roads, and get around like that. They can't take your license away if it's on your own property that you're driving around. So yeah, it's just, the time keeps marching on. I mean, you have so many decisions you can make in a day, in a week, in a year. And if you make too many wrong ones, you're done. If you make right ones, then your life gets easier or better. Maybe, I don't know. If you make mediocre decisions, your life ends up being mediocre. Well, that sun is super bright. Good thing I got some of these lifeguard style glasses. They're no-name mirrored glasses, but they do seem pretty good for what I paid for them, which was nothing. Wow, that sun is... The sun's major in my eyes now. I'm gonna put down my sunshade. Okay. That's better. So yeah, the trick is not to die. But everything's trying to kill you. Relax a little bit. I got my diesel basically diesels are running a little diesel heater. From what I've collected information-wise, when you have a diesel heater, you want to run pretty much on-road diesel because it's cleaner. That off-road diesel is dirtier for some reason. And it'll gunk up your system. So even though it's cheaper, you'll pay for it in the long run. Which I tend to agree with or believe in because I've gonked up a couple cheap diesel heaters using off-road apparently. So it's the thing. So you want to use the on-road even though you're paying more for it. So your diesel heater lasts a lot longer. I had one going earlier in the winter and it failed. Luckily I had another one ready to go. That's the thing, if you have something that you really need to have to survive, you should have a couple of them, at least two. So when one goes down, you can just put it into the spare. But probably you want 3 of everything that you absolutely need. That'll limit the being without stuff. Of course, having 3 of everything is costing a lot of money though. I got multiple battery banks, but ideally you have everything separated to where you got your critical loads and then your loads which are for non-critical. And then you have your other ones which are for fun stuff. I'm getting tired, I don't know why. Maybe my digestion is not good with the ulcers. Yeah, I'll just start that generator. I'll probably go get a nap. I want to run that generator when it's still warm outside, relatively, versus tonight. I have a hunch that running things in the deep cold is not good for them. Alright, so I'm almost home. So that's it for that. Glad you came along for this little